Are you ready to rewind? Take a nostalgia-filled ride back to a simpler time. It's Acid Wash Memories, a retro pop culture celebration. And now your hosts, Joe Murata and Michael Quinn.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 84 of Acid Wash Memories, a retro pop culture celebration. Today we're opening the vault to explore when the WWF met Boy Meets World. My name is Joe Murata alongside Michael Quinn. Hello there, Michael.
Howdy ho.
Howdy ho. Little retro action today. Retro vintage action.
It's time. It's Vader time.
It is Vader time. Folks, if you are listening to this for your first time and you're not familiar with what we do, each week is something completely different in the world of retro pop culture. That's what we do around here. And there are 83 other episodes available where, Mr. Quinn?
In the archives.
In the archives. Now, this is not an archive. This is a vault episode. Every now and then we dip into the vault for various reasons. This reason this week around is our Ogden, Utah enforced time off. You know, we have to take off every now and then.
It's a holiday.
It's a holiday in Ogden, Utah. We're not serious. We live in New Jersey, but Ogden is the corporate office.
We might live in Ogden.
We could live in Ogden. It's possible. So what we're doing here is we're dipping way back into the vault of stuff that Quinn and I have recorded over the years. For those of you unfamiliar, we also host another show that I believe you termed it not long ago, Quinn. We've been hosting for too long, known as Our Vantage Point Retro Wrestling Podcast.
It's a long show.
Since 2016. And on that show over the years, we have reviewed and dipped into all sorts of things that aren't strictly wrestling.
Like Turtles, for reasons.
That's where our Turtles review came from. In fact, Acid Wash Memories in itself was on the OVP podcast feed, the 3 pilot episodes.
Yes, because we just wanted to do something else.
Exactly. So what we used to do on our old wrestling show back in the day is every 10 episodes, we'd have what we called the season finale. And in those season finales, we would generally review something a little off-kilter.
Yeah, something like sort of tangentially related to wrestling, but not really.
Exactly. And in November of 2018, that's how old this is.
This is an old one.
Old one. Episode 110 of OVP. We reviewed the Boy Meets World episode with Vader of the WWF.
Yes.
We figured we'd just show this to you. That way it's officially canonized as episode number 84 here of Acid Wash Memories.
It's earned its Acid Wash wings.
It earned its Acid Wash wings, yes.
Acid washed wings? Do they come with a side of ranch and blue cheese? See what I did there? Yeah, don't mind me, just filling the space here. Killing time, wasting the seconds away of this dumbass podcast. Ah, damn it, now I want some wings.
I do want to remind you guys to follow us, please, at AWM Podcast on Twitter, or X, I guess, and join our Facebook group, Acid Washed Memories on Facebook. We're not going to really get into too much here in 2024 about Boy Meets World, but obviously most people, if not everyone listening, knows what Boy Meets World was.
It was a show where a boy met the world. And
he met it for 8 seasons or something.
He grew up, and his teacher, Mr. Feeney, somehow followed him throughout his entire school career.
Made it to college.
Mysteriously.
Wasn't he the dean or some shit?
Oh, yeah, they definitely horned him.
He was horned, yeah.
Like, he definitely did not work at that college until they went there.
Yeah, exactly. I needed to be him, Mr. Matthews, or whatever. I'm going to be honest with you. It ran from 93 to 2000. I'm going to be honest with you. I watched it. I think probably the entirety of the run.
Yeah, I definitely did. I know it wasn't like...
I don't love it.
It wasn't like my favorite show.
No way.
But it was definitely up there on the this is acceptable. Like, you know what I mean?
It was fine.
This is part of the lineup of things that maybe I just watched it too much just by I was waiting for something else.
That's kind of how I felt about it.
But the show did get to a point where I personally feel like it started to become actually good. In the later seasons, where it was oh, this is a real show.
Do you think you're not talking about when Matthew Lawrence was on it and they went to college, are you?
I'm just talking about in general, where it just became about growing up and not about Minkus and weird shit at their elementary school or whatever.
You love bringing up Minkus.
Well, because to me, Minkus represents the early years, and then once there's no more Minkus, that's when the show becomes good.
It's hippie Topanga era, that's the early years.
Yeah, Topanga becomes a girl.
Eric is still smart.
Eric's not an idiot yet.
Yeah, there's a lot of changes over the years.
It's true. Post-Minkus era is the good stuff.
Post-Minkus. Well, the one that we're going to be dipping into here from 2018, that is post-Minkus.
Yes, definitely bringing on WF was definitely more of a this is a teen show now kind of move.
I think you're right. It's about Topanga's Sweet 16, as a matter of fact.
That's
this episode.
right.
Yeah,
he's got to juggle that and Vader.
What a juggling act that was.
You know, I chopped Vader's nipple off that year. Hi, I'm Gorilla Monsoon, the nipple chopper.
her. They call me the nipple eater because I eat those bastards with a dab of my barbecue sauce.
Stop! Nobody wants to hear that!
Those of you that like wrestling are going to appreciate this. And, a lot of our Acid-Washers are fans of OVP, found us through that. Mm-hmm. And if you have, well, at least this is your chance to hear it again, because I don't think people are going back and listening to this regularly.
I couldn't tell you, before you said 2018, I had no clue when we did this.
It's been a long, long time.
Yeah.
And those of you that have never listened to OVP, you can give it a try, but if you don't have to, you're going to get a little taste of it here.
Yeah.
I will say this, we were younger back then in 2018.
Our mics were worse.
The sound is worse. I'll try to clean it up and post a little bit. Did we have less couth?
Probably.
Are we more couthful now?
Yeah, there's probably cursing and stuff on this.
We f***ing curse on this show too, Quinn.
Cussing.
Yeah. We cuss too.
Yeah.
To sell our show. No, but it's still me and Quinn. Still sitting across the desk from each other. It's just a long time ago.
We were in a basement or something.
No, we were at the loft, but it was brand new. It was
the loft was shiny and new. That's one studio ago though.
We were there a long time. So listen. You guys enjoy this one. We'll be back at the end of it to send you home. We will be back next week, by the way, for something regular. But I wouldn't be surprised if every now and then over the coming months, we might sprinkle in some of these Vault episodes here.
Vault.
That's what I'm calling it, okay? It's on the label of the episode. Yeah, the label. It's on the label of the episode, Vault. So without any further ado, take a listen to Quinn and I reviewing Boy Meets World, originally recorded. But hang on. Before I even get to this, Quinn, please don't act like we just recorded this and comment on it like we're going to know what you're talking about.
Well, I might listen to it. Oh. I don't mind talking about
I might not.
Boys.
No, I don't mean don't comment on the episode.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't just say these words, right, is what I mean.
Yes.
It's not contemporary.
I have no clue what's about to play. I'm just telling you that, as we record this, I don't know.
That's what we're telling you. Not don't comment on the episode. Comment away.
It could be Michael Quinn stinks.
Right.
And it just says that over and over. I don't know.
What if it does?
Yeah.
Michael Quinn stinks.
Michael Quinn stinks.
Like Michael Quinn stinks, bro.
Well, because his middle name is
Paul. Michael Quinn stinks.
The answer is Michael Quinn does this.
Michael Quinn stinks. I don't like him.
Chat me up about how Michael Quinn stinks.
In a world where Michael Quinn stinks.
Does Michael Quinn stink? Yes, he does.
Who the fuck is Michael Quinn?
These podcast is crumbling the way that Michael Quinn stinks.
I thought that my cat Smokey's poop stunk more than Michael Quinn.
All right. Without any further ado, here it is. It's Boy Meets World with Vader and the WWF. Quinn, remember when that boy met World?
Yeah, he met it. Things happen like this episode because there's so many hijinks that happen when you meet the world. You can't cover it all in 20 minutes. You got to cover it in 24 episodes.
Yeah, a season for 7 seasons.
For 7 seasons to really bite into what goes on in the world.
So Boy Meets World, folks, was a sitcom that starred Fred Savage's little brother, Ben Savage.
Right, which I always confuse that because why are their names very similar?
No relation to Randy Savage as far as I know. I don't think so.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Ben Savage's show, Boy Meets World, was very much a sitcom.
Yeah.
In the vein of other sitcoms, with a laugh track, 4-camera setup, whereas Fred Savage's show, The Wonder Years, was a 1-camera dramedy, which I happen to prefer over this show.
It's actually one of the best... One of the best shows of the 90s period, I would say.
The Wonder Years? Absolutely.
It's unbelievably good.
Now, Boy Meets World is if you took everything that was good about The Wonder Years and put it into a sitcom form. I've always said,
it's actually
similar.
Here's the thing about Boy Meets World. It's actually not even bad.
It's not a bad show at all.
I just think it's like you said, because it's
a sitcom.
The format is changed to a more sitcom-y format.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it has the opportunity to be as good as
The Wonder Years. No way. No, it doesn't. And
it's not the show's fault, is my point.
I do like the girl of Boy Meets World better than the girl of The Wonder Years.
Oh, wait. You don't like Winnie Cooper more than Topanga?
I much prefer Topanga. I'm just saying, leave it up to you folks at home there.
To be more fair, I think Winnie Cooper is way too much of a tease compared to Topanga.
Yeah, Topanga's with Corey most of the time.
They have a nice, happy relationship, whereas Winnie the whole fucking time
is a pain in the ass.
It's like, I like you. Literally 5 minutes later, I don't like you anymore.
I know, fucking annoying.
And then 5 minutes after that, no, I like you again. And it's give the kid a break. Like, can you tell him definitively? It takes till the last episode for us to definitively find out what she thinks.
Yes,
like,
and they do the barn, and then they're not together.
They break up multiple times, and it turns out she's been married to Fred or somebody.
Yeah, some guy.
Some dude that wasn't the guy from Home Alone.
Kevin Arnold.
Who was talking the whole time.
Daniel Stern, yes.
Well, there you had it. In a nutshell, the plain, unvarnished truth.
So anyway, back to Boy Meets World here. This show was on from 93 until, believe it or not, 2000. So Mr. Feeney is probably the most notable thing from the show besides Topanga, right?
The whole Mr. Feeney aspect never made any sense to me. How does this guy go from being an elementary school teacher while these kids are going through school, and when they change to middle school, he's there too. But then when they change to high school, he's also the principal of the high school. And then when they go to college, he's like the dean of the college. How in the fuck does that work at all? His career path follows their student path, and it makes no sense.
Mr. Feeney was like the Wilson from Home Improvement of this show. He was their neighbor that was like involved with the family and helped them out. And it was a pretty good show. You know, it was Corey Matthews and his best friend, you know, the renegade Sean.
The Seanster.
Yeah, Ryder Strong.
Yeah.
And he had a dumb older brother, Corey did, named Eric.
Right. I liked Eric, actually.
Yeah, Eric was good.
He was always, like, good meaning, right? Like, he was stupid, but he was good. He was a good guy.
And Corey's parents were nice. The dad was, like, a grocer.
Yes, he was a professional grocer, and the mom, Amy, was I don't know, is she a teacher or she works at some kind of business of some kind?
I don't really remember what she did.
Something with business?
Something with business, and occasionally they had a sister.
Yes.
Sometimes. Morgan, yes.
Yes, Morgan, who also changed people.
And was missing for like 2 years or something.
She was like Judy, but a little more respectable than Judy.
Oh, than Judy Winslow?
She was never actually written off.
No. So now that we've caught you up on the Boy Meets World, we're going to take you to Boy Meets World Season 4, Episode 9. This is from November 15th, 1996, and you'll see why we're reviewing this episode, of course. You know, there's a reason that we picked this episode.
Already know, because to preface this is a pretty very notable episode in the series.
Yeah, especially amongst wrestling fans.
Amongst wrestling fans, a lot of people recognize this as one of the like definitive like wrestling involvement in a sitcom thing.
Agreed.
Right? Like, this is the one I always hear people say. It's like, oh, what do you
remember when this happened?
Remember when wrestling was on Boy Meets World? Like, everyone fucking says that.
Now, did you watch this as it aired? Because I did. I did too.
Here's the weird thing about it is I had no idea that wrestling was going to be on it that night. Like, I just always watched this show. It was part of my regular thing. And I was watching wrestling in 1996 as well. So like when I saw two of the things I really liked together, I was like, whoa, this is great. I turned on Boy Meets World and a wrestler just happened to be on it.
Right. And it was weird. I don't remember if they hyped it. But Quinn, we open with what I call the crappy car intro. Remember this?
Okay, so I never liked this. And I swear this intro, you may say I'm wrong, but I swear this intro was added in once they put it on like streaming services and stuff.
I think this was their intro by late 96. I really do.
That is correct.
I just don't like that they put what the actual intro was on the car with the animated of like the boy with the globe on his foot.
Yeah, the original intro, right?
Yeah, which actually it's not the original. This is the intro that took place before they inserted this shitty intro.
I don't know if this was inserted. I think this is their intro by 96. I remember it.
I don't buy it.
You're wrong.
So we go to class here and we open with Corey in class reading some poetry out of a book for Mr. Turner. Now, Mr. Turner, real quick, just to catch you up, folks, he was like the cool teacher.
Right. He's the cool teacher that in the original like introduction of him, he would wear like a leather jacket over his school teaching clothes.
And he had a motorcycle.
And he was just so cool. But then like, I don't know, like after they like decided that he was going to be more of like a father figure to Sean, they almost like fiended him up, like with his clothes, like he just dressed like a normal teacher. Like
weird.
He shouldn't dress like a dork.
And then he disappears.
Yeah,
very soon after this. So Sean, speaking of him, is sleeping like laid across like two desks, and he's like, "I don't want to go to school, Daddy." And Turner's like, "Get up!" Blah, blah, blah. And then Sean leaves.
Ironically, like Turner is basically his dad.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to school, Daddy. Corey's reading poetry.
You get your butt out of that bed and get to class.
Okay.
Also, what the fuck? Why is this school like way too casual at this point? Like, people are making comments in the middle of the class. Like,
yes,
Topanga's like saying things.
Yeah,
like,
what is this? It's like an outlaw country.
No, it's a sitcom in a classroom. Like, it's like, but the problem with applying like sitcom rules where everyone has a wise Alec remark to make is
wise
like,
Alec.
That doesn't work in a teacher-student setting. Like, the teacher would be like, get the fuck out of here. You're going to the principal's office. Like, that's not how this works.
Now, haven't we talked about how it's smart Alec, not wise Alec?
Whatever.
Okay, I'm just making sure. So, anyway, big Frankie there. Now, Frankie's this big, tall, rather large man, but he's very deep and profound, and he analyzes this poem. And Corey's like, wait, I thought it was about a doggy.
Sometimes we love, and though it seems that the object of our love is within reach, it does not reciprocate, and so we must keep reaching.
It's not about a doggy?
And then Topanga turns around and makes some wise Alec comment to him.
She's like, oh, honey, or like she's the wife.
She is. Topanga was Danielle Fishel, still to this day, is beautiful.
How old is she here? Like
16, probably.
That can't be.
She looked older, yeah. I think she's 16.
Way too old.
Maybe 17.
I guess it's the typical women mature faster than men thing.
I guess so. So anyway, Corey and Frankie have a deep, profound conversation about love and how Frankie wants love, and Sean wanders back in to hang out with the two of them. So you got these three guys now sitting in the classroom all casually.
Now, may I ask, when did all these people become friends? Because let me explain something about Frankie here.
Frankie.
The big fat kid, right?
Yes.
Now, when they initially moved to the high school in season
3 or something,
3, 2. Minkus is gone and all this shit.
No more
right?
Minkus.
But there's a bully character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he leads up a crew, and Frankie's in the crew, right?
Yes.
Now, this whole crew, I don't know what the fuck happened to them. They just disappeared, and Frankie just stayed along for the ride, right?
Yeah.
But now he's like a big face.
Yeah,
right?
when did he turn face?
Like Topanga's friends with him.
Corey and Sean are friends with him.
Like everyone just is friends with this kid. They're they love him. Like he's like their big fat friend, basically.
Yeah, it's weird.
They think he's the coolest. Like he's so good. He's got a heart of gold.
Yeah, right.
Like he's not even mean anymore.
No, he's very nice.
What the hell happened?
What happened to Frankie?
Yeah, that's not the Frankie we know.
So Corey and Sean offer to help Frankie with his love situation if he agrees to help them with poetry.
So we got a deal here.
We got a deal because he's very good with the poetry. He's a very deep, profound man, So we go to Frankie's house, which Quinn and I were theorizing is supposed to be a double-wide trailer, by the way.
I'm very confused by it because it's too big for a trailer. Like it's basically a home, but wood paneling to make it look like a trailer.
It's built like a trailer, right? Like it looks like a trailer, but it's big. Interesting.
It's built like a trailer. However, it's not shaped like a trailer.
There you go.
That's the problem.
There it is. So, Frankie's dad, Vader, comes home.
Yeah, just
casually.
And he is Vader.
Yeah.
Like, he's not like a guy. He's not the guy Vader playing somebody.
No, he's not like Mr. Slam or something.
Yeah.
Like, that's the character.
Frankie, I'm home. Father, it is good to see you.
What I like about it, though, is he comes in, the audience doesn't react. There's no woo!
Yeah, they don't know who the fuck he is.
He just comes in like he's been on the show a million times.
It's WWF 96.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just the crowd reacts to him as they would react if you were first introduced to Frankie's father, if he was just an actor.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
So Vader comes in and he goes on about how he doesn't like poetry and all this crap Frankie does. He says Frankie could have been something like a sumo.
You could have been somebody. You could have been a sumo.
Vader has the junky WWF belt, and I'm not talking about the real stuff.
Yeah.
I'm talking about literally the one that didn't look like it, the foam one.
Yes.
Like that everyone remarks on.
Yes.
Like
it's on the wall, right?
Yeah. Like he won that or something. Like
he won it straight from the merchandise catalog.
Yeah.
So Vader's like, hey, I remember you, to Corey. And he threatens to grind him up like garlic and put him in a spaghetti.
Something spaghetti. Yeah, the whole spaghetti joke here.
Piece of spaghetti.
I didn't really understand this joke, actually, because is Vader supposed to be Italian then? Oh, well, Frankie, right? Isn't he supposed to be Italian?
I don't know. I mean, non-Italian people eat spaghetti and make spaghetti.
You're in my son's poetry class. You're a bad influence. I should crush you like garlic and put you in my spaghetti.
So Corey references that's the same thing Vader said that he would do to Sid at the Philadelphia Spectrum.
What a weird thing, by the way, Vader's house.
I know. I know. Like, here we are at Vader's house.
Right, and we're talking about the Spectrum and Sid and shit.
That's one detail, is this show is supposed to take place in Philly, or at least like a suburb of Philly, because it don't look like it take place in Philly, honestly.
Yeah, it does.
The Matthews house? No. So anyway, Corey and Sean now realize, after seeing Frankie and Vader interact, that the love problem is not between Frankie and a lady. It's between Frankie and Vader.
Oh my gosh, Corey. I just realized who it is that Frankie loves and who doesn't love him back.
Yeah, me too.
Amy Lee Reynolds.
Yeah, Amy Lee Reynolds. Come here.
It's his father.
So we go to school now, and Topanga is telling Corey how upset she is because her mom is giving her a Sweet 16, and
it's lame or something.
Lame. She doesn't want one. And Corey's like, nah, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Back at Vader's house, Frankie gives Corey and Sean some poetry tips, and then Vader storms in, telling them what time it is. It's Vader time.
It's time! It's time! It's Vader time!
And he's so excited, Quinn, because he's got his big rematch with Jake the Snake Roberts coming up.
Here we go again with the, is it real or not? Here's the thing, is like the kayfabe is actually like really well lined up with like what's going on, right?
In real wrestling in 96.
It's a little too close. It's almost like wrestling is real in this universe, but not only that, like all the storylines taking place are also like real things.
They're real because, this is the best part of this whole discussion is because Corey's like, oh, that's great because if you win, you get to face the world champion Shawn Michaels at Madison Square Garden.
And may we note that this came out like Shawn Michaels was the champion.
Yes, he was about to be fighting Sid at Madison Square Garden at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It's actually really, really cool.
It's actually close to accurate here.
And then Frankie's like, my father's a wrestler. Category, villain.
My father is not a poet. He's a professional wrestler, villain category with the World Wrestling Federation.
So here's the thing with Frankie, you have to understand going forward, is like the poetry thing is not only just something he's good at, he literally it's like almost like stupid how they do it. Like he just always speaks in poetry.
Yeah, he speaks in like prose,
Yeah, like
his meter is very...
it's bizarre.
It is bizarre.
It's actually like a little too much.
I'd say it's a little too much.
Yeah.
It's very sitcom-y.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Exaggerating all that.
And what's weird, like we said again, he wasn't this character before, so it's weird that he developed this way of talking like after a certain point.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's weird. So anyway, Corey, he wants to help out Frankie here, so he tells Frankie to give Vader some advice. He says that Vader's got to set up the Vader bomb faster. So Frankie tells him, and Vader gets like all happy. He's like, oh, that's great. Give me more advice, or whatever.
I think the Vader bomb would be best achieved if it was set up, slower, quicker, what? Quicker.
I knew something was wrong with the bomb. You keep those tips coming.
So we go back to school here, and Frankie is all happy with Corey and Sean in the hallway, like it's fucking Saved by the Bell over here, where just no one ever does anything at school.
Yeah, it's just like a place where people like so exposition can happen.
Yeah, what the hell?
That's essentially like the school exists so the characters can meet, and then they can like go do whatever the fuck they got to do, right?
No one's ever really doing anything.
No one's actually schooling in the school.
Same thing with Saved by the Bell. No one's ever doing shit.
No,
they're just hanging out in the hallway.
It's just a reason to meet and then get into stupid hijinks.
Yes, right. So Frankie says he'll see them tomorrow and mentions that match again that Vader's got coming up about Shawn Michaels.
It is when my father fights Jake the Snake Roberts. The winner is in line for a shot at the belt against Shawn Michaels at Madison Square Garden.
You were saying you like how accurate this is. It's so accurate.
It's actually decent, like how like accurate it is with the WWF like at the time.
It's actually quite refreshing, Quinn, because we did the Family Matters thing.
I know that was the most. Is that the last thing we did
with wrestling? Yeah. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had Brett Nolan on it.
Yeah, that was really
weird. They really treated wrestling weirdly. A lot of shows and sitcoms treat wrestling very cartoony and over the top. This does it as close to real WWF as you can get, as you guys are going to see. It's not that bad.
You know what I like, too? It's like, even though like Corey's supposed to be a fan, they don't like insult any intelligence with it. It's like Corey says things that are factually correct, like about like if you were a fan.
He's not a dork. Like he doesn't come across as a dork.
He's just like, oh, maybe the Vader bomb could be like if Vader was asking for a tip and kayfabe was real. Corey, as a viewer, might say do the Vader bomb faster, or he knows like what Vader's like title matches or his opportunities may be coming up.
Yeah, exactly.
And it all lines up, and I really like this. Actually,
I do too. But there's one problem, Quinn. This big match where Frankie wants Corey and Sean there to help out. It's the same night as Topanga's Sweet 16.
Yes, which Corey has agreed to go with too.
Yeah, so he's agreed to go to both now. But Corey tells Frankie, you know what? No, I can't go because it's Topanga's Sweet 16. And Frankie gets really, really sad. So Corey's like, all right, fine, I'll go. So Corey's being a nice friend.
Actually, this is a theme. This becomes a joke if you watch this series as it goes on, is that basically the idea behind the Corey character is that he's so nice that he always gets himself in some weird situation where he has to screw someone over by accident or something. Like, that's basically the Corey character. And even the characters will remark about, like, you're too nice a guy. Sometimes you have to let things go or whatever.
Yeah, he's not malicious. He's not a malicious character.
Right.
So Sean gloatfully says Topanga's going to flip out on Corey for saying he's not going to her Sweet 16, and he bets Corey $1 that she'll flip out.
Which seems way too low for if Sean's supposed to be like a bad kid.
Yeah,
you know,
$1.
You think he'd say like $100,
yeah.
Right? Like, try to fleece him.
So of course Topanga conveniently comes into her locker. Corey goes up to her and tells her blah blah blah. And now all of a sudden Topanga's got to change her heart about this whole fucking party because now she says she's going to die if Corey doesn't go.
Sweetheart, listen, there may be a slight chance I won't be able to come.
I'll just die, Corey. I know I said it's not important, but it means everything.
She says something to the effect is like, yeah, I told you I was like, I didn't care, but I really did on the inside.
Because she wants to have that big dance with them. So, all right, Corey says he'll go, and you caught on to the plot right away there, Quinn.
I said right to you, I said, so we're setting up for the two places at once scenario.
It's like Three's Company over here or something
exactly.
like that. You know?
There's a thing and a deal and a thing, and the guy falls off the bike. Three's Company, too.
Corey passes Sean $1 as he's kissing Topanga, which is actually kind of funny.
It actually is a good joke.
Yeah, he passes it behind him. So we go to Corey's house where Sean comes in and he has a videotape. This videotape now is going to help them be at two places at once. And Sean's going to give Corey an education on how to pull this off.
So what's this? An instructional Deepak Chopra, Venus and Mars, buy real estate, no money down, Abreducer, Juice Tiger kind of thing?
It's the Flintstones.
So it's an episode of the Flintstones where Fred has to be at two places at once.
This is so good, Joe.
Why is that?
Because this is like the show. Now, you know how I remarked about some meta before? This is fucking ultra meta. They like acknowledge that they're on a sitcom at certain points.
They do. They wink at the fourth wall.
They like wink at the fourth wall. They're like trying to like plan this out logistically. And like Corey's like not understanding things.
Corey keeps saying, but Sean, that's a show.
Right.
It's different than this. And Sean's like, no, it's the same thing.
Yeah, he like literally looks at the camera and like, this is the...
It's the same, with like a smirk.
Yeah, but you see, Sean, that was a cartoon. Time was compressed. We're real. We're in real time. Trust me, it's the same thing. No, it's not. You see, a television show can cover many days in only one half-an-hour program.
Trust me, it's the same thing.
So basically the plan is this. Topanga's party is only 0.3 of a mile from the Spectrum where Vader's match is. So what they're going to do is they're going to be at two places at once by changing clothes every time they go to their respective places.
Right.
But they can only stay for 75 seconds at a time. That way they make their presence at each place, find excuses to leave, change, and go to the other place.
And nobody notices because you haven't been gone long enough from the last place, right?
Correct. And Sean's guiding Corey through all this with a pointer, by the way, which is kind of funny.
He brings out a pointer and he's pointing to the CRT TV.
Yeah,
like it's pretty amazing.
So Quinn, let's go to the Spectrum. Our ring announcer here at this WWF show is, of course, Brother Love. Because remember when...
he's always the commentator at everything.
There he is. There is the man, the one and only Vader. There's his sons out there. Frankie along with Corey and Sean.
What the fuck is this?
I don't know. Why is it Brother Love?
I didn't get this part. This is really weird. And it's like, he's Brother Love, but like, it's when Brother Love was like later and he looked more like Bruce Pritchard. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. You mean fatter.
Yeah. He just looks like the Bruce of today with the red makeup on.
Pretty much. So he announces Vader. Vader accompanied by Frankie, Sean, and Corey, his special advisors for the match. Did you also notice when the Vader had his real WWF music here?
Yes.
He did.
Again, because it seems like WWE was like really...
They were on board with this.
This was like, they were like getting publicity, basically. Like, that's how they looked at this.
Because I want to mention, folks, and we'll tell you more details after we're done with the show itself, but this was filmed at an actual WWF house show in a real WWF ring with a real WWF crowd. So it looks like a WWF show.
Yeah, it's dark as shit, too.
It is dark in there. So anyway, Vader throws a chair in the ring at his opponent, the shirtless Jake the Snake Roberts, who looks terrible.
Why? Okay. Why does he have no shirt on? We know at this point he used to wear the shirt.
Yes.
Why can't he wear his like vest thing?
Yeah,
like, what is the issue here?
His tights are like pea soup green. Did you notice that?
It's not right.
They're way too shiny.
I really don't understand what's going on
His hair looks like he dunked it in the toilet before he came out. He looks like almost as bad as Heroes of Wrestling.
He looks like he dunked it in a bucket of Jack Daniels, to be honest with you. He looks really fucked up here.
He does. He looks bad. Our referee is Earl Durrell. Now, Brother Love is doing commentary ringside. Sitting next to him is Jerry Briscoe.
I saw that too, and I was like, what?
For logistics purposes, I guess?
Was it to look like there's two commentators? Because he doesn't say anything.
No, he doesn't even have a mic.
Because you know what he says? Like, we're going to kick their butts and WCW sticks.
We're going to kill their children and all that stuff.
We're going to beat them afterwards.
Run them over with our cars.
Yeah, some crap like that.
Now, you know what I'm wondering, actually? This was a real house show. A lot of times at house shows, Vince didn't go, and one of the top agents would be in charge.
Jerry Briscoe would make sense to be the top agent in charge, or Bruce.
Maybe they both were.
Or maybe because Bruce was performing, technically.
Yeah, they
probably
Briscoe
had to, like, Jerry be with him, though, like, when he's doing his thing. Yeah.
That might have been it. Or maybe it was something to do with the camera crew being there for Boy Meets World. They needed just some WWF guys out there.
Yeah.
Because Bruce obviously was like way at the top in the inner circle.
Right.
So maybe that's
Wasn't
why.
Jerry Briscoe also by that point?
Oh, yeah. But maybe that's why Bruce was there too.
Right.
Maybe that's why they did the Brother Love thing.
I hate the whole inner circle thing, by the way. Like,
fucking annoying.
Why does he have so many people in the said circle?
Well, it's not that many, right? It's like 4.
Yeah, but they're all assholes too. other than Pat Patterson.
Yeah, Pat's awesome.
Yeah.
Pat is awesome.
He's literally the best person in his inner circle.
Definitely. So Corey runs out of the arena.
Yeah.
And finally gets to Topanga's party with his suit on,
So everything going good here. Nobody can ever tell.
And of course he makes like a comic plethora of excuses that he couldn't find her the whole time.
And I'm like, why does she believe this shit?
Yeah, she's like innocently believes him too.
Yeah, it's a little like, even for Topanga, the character, if you watch the show, it seems like too naive.
Yeah,
on
she's
her part.
smart.
Yeah, she's supposed to always like, she knows Corey, like everything about Corey. Like that's almost like the joke is like, they're not married, but she knows way too much about him to the point where they're practically married.
Yeah, she's always one step ahead of him.
Right.
Usually, right? So Sean, who's hiding like out of view from Topanga, tells him it's time to go back to ringside because remember, Quinn, 75 seconds.
Right, 75 seconds. They got to get moving here.
Yep. So he makes some lame excuse to get out of there. They run back. They see Frankie. And they have their Vader masks on now, which is funny. They're like, we went to buy masks.
Right.
So meanwhile, Jake is kicking Vader's ass this whole time.
Okay, this is when I say to you, how the hell long is this match going on? You're telling me Topanga couldn't wait 8 fucking minutes for this match to end so Corey could help his friend? Like, what?
That's
like,
true.
It literally is has anyone ever watched a WWF match? Like, what is this, an Iron Man match or something? Like, what the... Like... All they had to do was be there for 10 minutes tops. It's only 0.3 of a mile away.
That's true.
They could have just run after the 10 minutes and how long is Topanga's party? And so if this is a long match,
right?
Is Topanga's party short?
Yeah, what?
Even a long match wouldn't be her whole party. I'm so confused.
I still think Corey should have just manned up and told her what was going on, though.
Well, yeah, that's kind of the point, right?
He got himself into this mess. Right. But I think if he would have said, "Hey, Topanga, first of all, you have a weird name.
Yeah.
Second of all, Frankie over here, he really needs me. He's having some trouble with his dad, Vader. I need to help Vader beat Jake the Snake Roberts.
It's only like across the street or
right
something.
Here, yeah. I'll be right there. I'll be at your party a little late.
Right.
And then we can have our dance and you can be happy
Just
with Aunt
don't
Ruthie.
tell the DJ to play the song or whatever.
Yeah, whatever the hell you're so caught up in, Topanga. Yeah. Stupid name. So anyway, Jake signals for the DDT, so Corey tells Frankie to tell Vader to counter it, which is obviously sage advice. I mean, Vader, a longtime professional wrestler, wouldn't have thought of that on his own, Quinn.
Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of this in this episode that, like, I don't know, like, Vader, a guy who this is his profession, like, why can he not, like, understand how to wrestle?
Right.
He needs... Man, it'd be so helpful if his son could help.
Yeah,
like
his son could just help him know what to do in this wrestling ring. His own son. So Vader does counter it as Brother Love is just yelling bombastically over the whole match on commentary.
Jake's moving in for the DDT. Tell your dad to counter or he's a goner.
Watch out for the DDT, Dad!
The crowd chanting for the DDT! They want the DDT! Oh, but Vader countered! It must have been the advice from Frankie!
So Sean and Corey now run back to the party. Corey almost wears his Vader mask in front of Topanga, but Sean catches him.
There, yeah.
And then he's like, hi, I'm back, blah, 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 and he's out of breath. But somehow Topanga's still buying his stupid excuse.
Right.
Meanwhile, this is the funniest thing. There's a TV at this party.
That's amazing.
Sean and Corey look up and they see this match, Vader versus Jake Roberts, on TV.
Yeah, and now like Vader's like struggling or something.
Yeah. Jake's taking the snake out of the bag.
They're not there to give the tips.
See, the tips. It's like strategy tips. Yeah. Todd Pettengill. Yeah. Now, first of all, Spectrum televised house shows ended in 1989, so I don't know if this is on closed circuit for Topanga's party.
Well,
did she order it?
0.3 of a mile gives me the impression that it's either across the street or around the corner or like the next block over
They're
or something.
beaming it to the party.
Yeah,
or
or
they
like
just run one long cable.
Maybe the closed circuit is in like that vicinity of buildings. Like, I don't know.
Too bad Dick Graham wasn't on commentary for this.
Yeah.
And also, don't forget Ted DiBiase, the $1 million guy, is here.
Again, I like that Vader needs the help from these boys to win.
I know.
It's so stupid.
It's so funny.
Doesn't even Brother Love at some point say on commentary, like when Vader like messes up, he says, "That must be because of the strategy of the boys from ringside." Oh no! Like he does say that. Like
he probably does. So Sean and Corey run back to the arena now as Topanga is alone waiting for Corey.
Now her party's like over.
Yeah.
Again. How long was this match?
I don't know.
Was this like a 3-hour wrestling match?
You know, that's a great point, Quinn, that I didn't think of as we were watching until you brought it up. A WWF wrestling match, like you said, unless it's an Iron Man match, what is it, 8, 12 minutes?
Tops 15.
With entrances, maybe 18 minutes of your time.
Yeah.
Including the running back and forth. They could have been there, changed, and back within 25 minutes into Topanga's party.
Right.
Why is her party over?
I don't get it.
As the match is still going on.
Yeah.
So anyway, we go to ringside. Vader rolls out of the ring. Frankie comes up to him, and they have a nice heart-to-heart while Corey and Sean run in and watch. They love each other, Vader and Frankie do. So Vader's like, all right, son, I'm going to win. And the big heel Vader makes a comeback, which is so funny that they made him heel.
They acknowledged he was a heel, but he makes a comeback, but the sweetened crowd is cool with that.
Yeah, they're fine with it. So the Vader bomb, which I guess he set up faster this time, it gets the win. Pritchard, by the way, is so bombastic. I'm going to have to cut some of it in. It's so funny. Sean and Corey celebrate in the ring. Yeah. And then they're like, oh shit, Topanga's party is ending.
The best part is that Corey just yells, "This is the greatest moment of my life," as they're like celebrating, and then like Sean has to be like, don't say that, because like you're supposed to like dance with Topanga.
Yep.
And that should be the greatest moment of your life or whatever.
Should be.
Yeah.
So they run back to the party where Topanga is all alone at the table. No one's there. The party's over, folks. The lights are dim. And we see the Music by Larry sign.
Yes. First of all, wouldn't you think her mom would like take her home or something, like, or her like Aunt Ruthie or whoever the hell that was? Second of all, Music by Larry? What?
Yeah, what kind of a name for a DJ is that?
And also, like, I was like, wasn't Topanga like a hippie or something? Like,
in the earlier seasons.
Why is she having like this nerdy, like this Sweet 16 party with Music by Larry and all this shit? Like, you would think, like, especially because they said like her parents were also pretty bohemian,
right?
Like, this would be way out of the scope of like what their parents would think was like okay and normal.
Maybe it's because, as Boy Met World, you know, Corey met Topanga, and Corey had a positive influence on her, and she matured.
But also, it rubbed off on her parents.
I don't know. Her parents are barely in the show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, they describe her parents as also weird.
Yeah, they are weird.
Right. So it's like, when did they just become like just the
normal
regular
parents?
Old, like, let's have a Sweet 16 and Auntie Ruthie and all this shit? Like,
I know when the plot called for it.
Yeah, exactly. They just like wrote off completely this, like, she's a bohemian and her family's weird thing.
Did.
Like, they never ever mentioned it again.
They never did.
And all of a sudden they're just normal.
They are. So she asks Corey how the match went, and he's like, what are you talking about? And then we go up to that TV again, which is showing a replay. First of all, a replay at a house show.
Right.
But the best part, Quinn, is what's flashing on the screen.
It actually says replay in like Wild and Crazy Kids font, by the way, if you notice. Like that when they show a replay on that show.
Are you guys ready to do some swinging?
I'm just saying.
Donnie Jeffcoat.
Yeah, Donnie Jeffcoat.
So Topanga's really upset, but Corey really is sorry, and he's like,
okay, listen, he's genuinely sorry, and he was like trying.
Yeah, he made no excuse here. He's like, Topanga, I'm really sorry. You're going to hit me with a frying pan?
Yeah, because he's referring back to the Flintstones thing. Yeah.
And the best thing is she gets the reference. She's like, yeah, I know that episode. Then she's like, Corey, why? Why did you do this?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I wanted to help Frankie get closer with Vader. And then we look up at the TV again, and Frankie and Vader are happily celebrating. So Topanga's like, well, it looks like you did.
Yeah, she's actually like...
She forgives him.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like, he wanted to help both.
So we go back to ringside as Corey and Topanga are slow dancing alone in the empty arena, which is very sweet. Sean and Frankie are actually sitting ringside first row, eating popcorn, watching them dance. And Frankie nudges Sean and is like, how many rounds do you think they're going to go? And Sean's like, they're going to go the distance.
How many rounds do you think they'll go?
Those two? Oh, they're going to go the distance.
So they're going to have sex? Like, what? Like, that comment.
I know, it was a little creepy.
Yeah, it's like...
It's a Sweet 16, damn it.
They're 16.
Can't have this on an ABC-owned show.
Yeah, not on a television show, no. Maybe in real life.
Maybe in real life.
Yeah.
So we fade to black, and then we have the tag scene here, which is also cool.
Yeah.
Frankie and Vader are in the ring talking. You just kind of a close-up of them in the ring. Right. And Vader says he understands that Frankie doesn't want to be a wrestler like his pappy.
Yes.
I accept the fact that you don't want to be a wrestler like your pappy.
Pappy. He actually says that. I never thought I'd hear Vader say pappy. Like, that should be on the soundboard.
Like your pappy.
Be a wrestler like your pappy.
Your pappy.
Like your pappy.
Who says that? Nobody says that.
If you... Look... No discrimination out there against anyone, but let us know if you use the term pappy to describe your dad.
He didn't say poppy.
No, pappy.
Pappy. Like,
is that a regional thing?
No, that's like a... Have you ever heard of the Real McCoys?
Yes, but what?
The theme, that's the only time I've ever heard the word pappy. That's why. In the theme song to the Real McCoys, it says like Granddaddy Amos... Yeah. Or no, Grandpappy Amos of the Girls and the Boys. And that's like literally the only time I've ever heard pappy in my life.
Pappy.
Like your pappy.
That's like a not even redneck. That's like a hillbillies thing.
Yeah, that's if you use that or if you've heard someone use it. Let us know,
that's
folks.
like weird, like extinct hillbillies in the United States that don't even exist anymore. Yeah,
like your pappy.
So Vader's all happy about his upcoming title shot that he never got in real life at Survivor Series.
Yeah,
and says he wants to show Frankie his new move, the Vader Salt, which you were saying.
Yeah, that was his move before the Vader bomb, but whatever.
So he does. He displays the Vader Salt right next to a dancing Corey and Topanga, who
Corey's
move out of the way.
Move over, like dance to the left or something. Like make some joke about it.
As Vader flops down in the ring, and then we end with a nice shot. It's Corey and Topanga on the left side of the screen dancing, while Vader's laying on the mat, happily looking up at his son.
Like your pappy.
So I want to say this. This was actually a pretty happy, fun, easy to watch sitcom involving wrestling.
It was actually really good, and like it's the rare like. I think a lot of people wanted us to review this eventually, right?
Because it's been talked about a long time.
Because we've done a lot of the other ones, right? But here's the weird thing is that this is probably one of the best wrestling and TV things that ever happened.
I agree with you because it's not insulting to wrestling.
Right.
And that's one of the things when we do a sitcom or a show that portrays wrestling in some vein, we always like to look at how are they portraying it? Are they insulting people? But I think part of the reason that this was so accurate is because WWF was clearly involved with it.
Not only that, it's we know from later years that Danielle Fishel herself is a wrestling fan.
Big wrestling fan, yeah.
Which we were trying to theorize, did it come from doing this episode, or maybe she was as a kid.
Yeah, right.
She was like maybe the one that requested to the producers, we should do an episode where there's a wrestler in
That'd
it.
be funny if that was actually why.
Yeah, like one or the other. But we know that she is like a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah.
To the point is that I think when they were doing Girl Meets World, the sequel series,
a horrible show.
I believe
horrible.
That they had some wrestlers come to the premiere on request of Danielle Fishel.
Oh, that's nice.
Like some of the current, like she loves the WWE.
Yeah, she does. Big fan. So this episode did not feature Corey's parents.
Yeah, they're just gone.
Did not feature Eric.
Yep.
And did not feature Mr. Feeney.
Also did not feature Sean's dad, Harry the hardware salesman.
Who, not only did he have a heart attack on Home Improvement, remember when he has a heart attack and dies on Boy Meets World?
He's had a heart attack on every show he's ever been on. He's had more heart attacks than any man in TV history.
So, folks, that was Boy Meets World, November of 1996.
And now we return to more acid-washed memories.
And welcome back to Acid Wash Memories here in 2024.
Welcome back to the future.
Welcome back to the future. Quinn, when we were sitting here listening to all of this, that's clearly what we did.
I listened to it all right now, and it was terrific.
We just sat here in silence and listened.
Didn't you love when Corey danced with Topanga at the end?
It was very nice. Didn't you like Brother Love as the ring announcer?
Yeah, Brother Love was so lovely.
And the Pappy, of course.
And he was just Pappy.
He was just Pappy.
Vader's all soft.
Yeah, they're all happy at the end. A happy Pappy, if you will. Well, folks, we hope you guys like that. But I was thinking, that is an interesting time for the WWF to be like hooking up with a major network TV show.
It does. So on one hand, it's like good for them at the time, but it is like kind of a fall from grace also that this is like the best they could get.
Yeah, and it's only because the people involved in Boy Meets World were wrestling fans. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like they were hot. I mean, this is, for those of you that don't know as much, the fall of 96
was the dumps.
Yeah, like in terms of overall business, creatively they actually started to pick up, but nobody cared in the mainstream, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of business, everyone, for the most part, in the North America,
nobody gave a shit about wrestling.
Right. They were watching, and if they did, it was Hulk Hogan and the brand new NWO.
They were still watching their Hulk Hogan and eating their Wheaties and NWOs.
Who eats Wheaties? Hogan did?
Well, back in the day, he was more. No, I'm just assuming he was more of a Wheaties man because, he was so nice and American and everything, and George Washington and stuff.
Yeah, he was George Washington.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
George Washington Hogan.
We were hitting 90s NWO. I'm a mean man.
Yeah.
But so I still have muscles.
He did have muscles. Folks, we're way off course here, but that's the whole point. We hope you enjoyed this Vault episode of Acid Wash Memories. We will be back next week for something completely different and totally in the year 2024. Don't worry about it.
In that.
It'll all be contemporary. But until that time, let us know what you thought of this. Let us know what you think of Boy Meets World in general, or perhaps 1996 WWF. Have fun talking about that. You can reach us, of course, on Twitter at AWM Podcast. Join our group one way or another, though. Thank you for being here. We will see you next week for more Acid Wash Memories.
See ya.
Like what you heard? Be sure to leave a review and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We will see you next week.